Welcome back to another Flame game tutorial. This one's with Jenny. In the previous video we set it up so that you can have the characters out. We're going to implement a dialogue engine called Jenny, which is based on Yarn Spinner. So the first step is we're going to have to use the Yarn project class. And it did an auto import. Right there for Jenny. This is the second class of Jenny that we're using. First class was this DialogueView, which we haven't implemented the methods yet. However, this will be the main way that we get Jenny to talk to the Flame engine. So in the main project root, look for your assets folder. Right now there's just assets images, but just make a assets yarn. And in the assets yarn, we'll create a new file called start.yarn. We'll call the title of the first node boat meeting. We at some point need to specify the characters. And between these first line here and the last line with the equal signs, we can put the dialogue. So we'll go Ken's first and approach Kemi. Hi. Haven't seen you boat before. I'm Ken. Oh, hi. So they're in some type of cruise ship. And this is the start of the dialogue. We can just continue on here. So let's go back to the main.dart file. We need to read in the file here. So I'm going to read it in the string start dialogue data. Use this async IO. That's why I'm using the await here. And there's this root bundle which was auto imported. Right there. And we can use the root bundle to read in the file. This is how we're going to get. There's different ways to load the file in. This is what we're going to do. Okay, now let's try to parse the yarn file. So this yarn project is this yarn project. And we'll see whether it can parse the dialogue. In the postspec.yaml probably did not specify the folder. Okay, we have our Kemi and Ken is running again. Previously we had instantiated the project view, which is how we're getting all the stuff into the game, inside of the game directly. But we will instantiate it above the onload method here. Let's make it sure it still works, no errors. So we'll start our dialogue runner. Dialogue runner is from the Jenny library. And the yarn project is, we specified it right there, and then it requires a list of dialogue views. The dialogue view is also from the Jenny system, and we use the mixin for dialogue view on the project view component, which is why we can add it in right there. Okay, let's go back to the project view component, which at this stage we're just using this onload method from the Flame game system. But because it has this mixin for dialogue view, we can use the built-in methods for the dialogue. Oops. So one of them is onLineStart. This is from Jenny, right? So first illustrate what happens when you just print it out. We'll go debug print. So we set up the dialogue runner here. We need to start the dialogue. And it requires the name of the node that we're starting at, which is boat meeting. And it's going to read in the lines from the start.yarn. And at this time it's just printing it out. So we could extend the story a bit, just for some test data. So this would be kind of a yes/no thing here for Akemi. He's making his move. To progress through it, we're going to use a button. And in the flame game up here, before you use a button, you have to use this mixin from flame, which is called has tappables. And then within the project view, now since this is a child, we can add a button here. Button component, which is from flame. We'll call this the maybe advance or next. We'll call it forward. Let's go to the onload here. Forward button component. Button component. We will instantiate it at the full size of the game. So we can use the game ref dot size, so be the entire screen of the game. We'll probably move to the on pressed. Okay, let's see whether our button's working at least. And I didn't add the button in. And the button's not working. And the button text component is required. Maybe I'll just go position component. Will this work? Okay. Right, to have the sequence come out when the button is pressed, we're going to use something called a completer. So it's from Dart, and this one is void, meaning that nothing's gonna come back from it. We'll just call it maybe forward completer. Forward completer. Create another method here. The dialog line is from Jenny. And we'll put the print statement here for the line. This will return a for completer dot future. So let's go back to this part where it's reading every line. We'll make this async. We'll have it await. The trigger will be in the button. Where's the button? Button's right here. So we'll first check to see if the completer is not finished, meaning that we can still complete it. And if it's not completed, we will complete it. Okay, let's see whether it works. Okay, so this is only giving the first line right now. We click on it again. It's the next line. And this is the third line. Okay, before we can put it onto the screen, I'm just going to do some additional testing. So, where does it say? Okay, we don't need this. And let's test it a bit more. I'm from New York City. I'm here with my grandparents. And Kemi's gonna go, I'm from Los Angeles. Maybe you can make the move right here. He's going to some prestigious school. Maybe it will be an attraction for her. Okay, let's go. Okay, we don't have the name of the character here, which is probably what we want. Okay, but we want the name the character. So let's and we'll just, if it's null, then we will have it just be a blank thing here. So let's go with character name. Okay, let's see whether this works. This is Ken. Hi, I haven't seen you on the boat before. I'm Ken. We'll click it and Akemi. So this string we're going to pass into a text component to appear on the screen in the next video. We're just testing it now. Ken, I'm from New York City. I'm here with my grandparents. Sounds super wholesome. I'm from Los Angeles. She's pretty hip. She's here with her parents. She's going to start college in the fall. He's starting at Columbia. He's making the big move. So he's going to ask her to grab some lunch at the cafe. And we'll make a choice to see whether she accepts it or not. So been this type of game with it's great practice to learn more about Flutter and Flame. So I hope you subscribe to the channel and join me for my journey. You can learn these great techniques like using the future async IO, using this completer, which is from Dart, and futures. So having fun by building these games, I think, will be great programming experience for when you're building maybe some enterprise or business applications where you have async IO. So I hope you have a great day and have fun while you're learning about Flutter.